Hi everyone, my name is Tamar Ilana, and we're here live with Curtain Call, which is a weekly interview series that focuses on women in the performing arts industry. And it's hosted by myself, Tamar Ilana, and our co-host, Leah Granger, every week, Thursdays at 12 and sometimes at 2 o'clock, like today. And today we're featuring an incredible woman and singer and performer and artist who I'm super honored to even know, let alone speak with. And her name is Lorraine Klaasen. She's the daughter of famous Tondi Klaasen from Sophiatown, South Africa. Well, that's where Tondi is from. And we'll find out more about Lorraine and her upcoming projects and her shows. So I am going to invite her right now. I was going to say extremely and incredibly, and I said them at the same time. So here we are. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. I'm just inviting Lorraine, and she's joined by a surprise guest. So be ready for that. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Oh, hello. I think you got to flip the camera around. Oh, there you are.
Oh,
You can turn the phone vertical. We'll see you better.
yeah, vertical. But then this technology.
Unless you want me to turn mine sideways, I can join you sideways. Oh, there we are.
Oh,
Yeah.
trying to find something I could
Perfect.
make it stand.
Oh, you said you just threw on a hat and a sweater, but that's not true. You look amazing.
Oh, no, I need to look gorgeous, girl. Are you serious?
You look amazing. I love it. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Lorraine Klaasen, everyone.
You. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. I'm so excited.
Yes, it's good. I'm glad. How's the lighting? I want to make sure that I come up.
Well,
Right.
I'm gonna ask everyone
Your
in the
lighting
comments.
is amazing, but
I cheated. I have a ring light, but
okay.
you look amazing. You're good. You're good. Do you
Thank
feel
you.
good? That's the only thing that counts.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Glad to be alive. So, we're happy.
Are you in Toronto right now, or are you in London?
I'm in London.
Okay.
London, Ontario people, not London, England. London, Ontario, still in the continent of Canada, right here.
The continent of Canada. I love it. Canada's big enough to be a continent for sure.
Yeah, we big, yeah.
Well, welcome to our program. I was just telling everyone who's watching that we have a show every Thursday where we focus on different women in the performing arts industry, and that this week is you, the one and only Lorraine Klaasen. And my mom is so excited. She's like, Lorraine, she's typing in the chat. I don't know if you can see it. It's been so many years. You look fabulous.
I know. It's
That's
wonderful comments. Yeah.
Yeah. So hi, everyone. Feel free to comment and say hello and maybe ask a question if you have one. But I'd love to just get started and go right back in the day because as I mentioned to you, I have two very important requests and I'd love to start with these requests. One is from my mother and one is from our dear friend, Morris McGregor. And I'll start with one from my mother to honor our mothers here, just for reference for those watching. Both Lorraine and myself grew up, singing with our mothers. So this question is very relevant to me as well, but on a personal note. So I'm excited to talk to you about it. And I would love to know, well, yeah, let's just get right into it. I was thinking of like 10 questions at the same time, but why don't you just tell us, your sort of memories as a kid growing up with your mother? Who was your mother, and what are your memories of her singing?
Well, it's a great question, and it's a very easy question to answer. Being is that I really am my mom's daughter in so many ways. When I was a little girl growing up in South Africa, I used to look at my mother and I would say to myself, when I grow up, I'm going to be just like my mother. I'm going to sing and make people happy with music, because I used to see how happy my mom looked like when she was going to perform, and how the response from the interchange with the audience that she had. And I thought, wow, I'd like to have something like that. So when I think of my own life now, I literally am living the promise I made to myself. And I think it's a wonderful gift that I've inherited from my mom. And it's a gift that I've taken good care of. It's a gift that my mom was able to observe how I use this gift in her lifetime. So at the end of the day, when I put my head on the pillow and I reminisce about my childhood with my mom, I'm very grateful and show a lot of gratitude for the love that I had for my mom and that she had for me. And she saw what is it I was going to do with my life. And at the end of her days, when she closed her eyes, she could see that my...
Wow. Wow. That's really beautiful. We just lost you at the end. Hold on. You've gone on mute for a second. Come back to us. Oh, you've come back.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
You're back. You're back. You're back. You're good. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for answering. That's really beautiful. You know what's so funny? Because when I was a kid, I said, I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to be like my mom.
Oh, just the opposite for you.
Yeah, but it ended up the same. The result was the same. You can't really, there's nothing much you can do about that. It's almost like destiny,
Yes.
you know? So was it ever difficult though as a child to be singing with your mom, or, you know, to live with, you know, an artist's mother, I guess?
Well, it depends, because I was one of those privileged child, again, that when I left South Africa, I left with my mom, playing my mom in a musical. So imagine, picture.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, I left South Africa with the musical troupe of, we were 30 singers and dancers, and my mom played the role of my mom. I was doing a lead role, and we both were doing lead roles. So I never had that disconnection with my mom, because as we traveled, my mom, I went to Israel, I went to Greece, we went to Germany, we went all over, but my mom playing my mom. So I had my mom constantly with me. And it was a protection in many ways too for me, because I never ventured out in doing all kinds of crazy things because my mom was always there. But I saw the discipline that my mom had for the art, the music, and the show business. And I've never had the desire to do anything other than what I'm doing. So the difficult part about having my mom with me, I guess, I couldn't be out late. I couldn't, you know, I never ventured in all those things that teenagers do, whatever. But it was a wonderful protection. And now that I'm older, looking back, I wouldn't have wished anything differently.
Did you ever go out and party later?
Well, you know, we went partying with my mom. My mom came to the party. So.
I bet.
My mom was she was an extraordinary woman. It was not in show business. We went, we had a good time together, we worked together, and we played together. So there was no separation of you go and you do this and I'm staying home as moms as we do now. No, we were together all the time.
Right.
All the time.
Wow. You must miss her.
I miss her every day of my life. I see her. My mom, for me, Tamara, is like a mirror. When I look myself in a mirror and I'm getting ready, I still see that reflection of my mom. And so she's constantly with me in a very good way. But also my mom taught me lessons about show business. It's never going to be easy. It's very misleading for the ones looking outside, thinking that, oh, you know, you're on stage, you perform. But it's a lot of dedication, and it's you have to really respect your art. And it's never about the money. It's about passion. My mother was a passionate woman. So very few people have lived or continue to live their lives doing what they would like to do. Some people live and do things just because they have to provide for their families, but not necessarily what they'd like to do. So I'm fortunate to have lived my life doing what I've said as a little girl, what I'm going to do, and still doing it.
Congratulations. No, really, I mean it from my heart. Yeah. And your mom must be so proud of you. She must have been so proud of you. I'm so happy to see that.
And when a mom says that to her daughter, I'm sure your mother says the same thing, Tamara, that I'm proud of. Look at you, look at what you're doing. And, you know, with what you're doing with your work, plowing back and having these interviews with a variety of musician artists in all forms, is what is it you wanted to do with your life? And it gives us all the time to think. And I think during this pandemic, where we're all at that quiet period, uninterrupted, period,
Mm-hmm.
we all had a lot of reflection
Mm-hmm.
to do, like self-inventory, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak, and really look at one's life and
Wow.
see what I'd like to keep, what I'd like to change, what I want to improve on, without having this busy interruption. So I had a lot of time to think about how far I've come
Wow.
from South Africa as that little girl, and
Oh.
the journey where my life has taken me to, and show gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Thanks for sharing that. You don't have to answer this question, but I really want to ask you, what do you want to change? You can tell us next interview round
What I
two.
want to say, well, I think sometimes sometimes we sabotage ourselves by our thoughts. Sometimes
Wow.
we think that we wish, life is full of what you should have, could have, would have. And so sometimes I think a lot about what could I have done differently. But then I can't beat myself up too much. So, but I acknowledge that feeling of going there,
Wow.
and saying, what could I have changed in my life? And what could I have changed in my life, when I think about it, is things that even though I wanted to change it, I still would not have any control.
Yeah, true.
It's life.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
life, and so.
Wow, so you want to change wanting to change.
Yeah, well,
You change the desire to want to
well,
change.
it's
That's beautiful.
improving. I look at our career here in Canada has been an incredible country that provide us the platform to be able to do what we love to do, and having an enormous respect for my audience who supported me throughout the years, although they have no idea what I'm saying because I'm singing in Xhosa and in Zulu. But
they don't have to know.
But it's that love that we have, and the continuing interaction that I have with my audience that keeps me going, and the wonderful and positive comments that I keep on coming back to me, that gives me a reason to continue to do what I love to do. So
good. Yes, continue forever. So I said I had two questions, but you kind of answered the other one. It was from our beloved friend Morris McGregor.
yeah.
Just for reference for those who were watching, I just want to say that Morris and Margot, who passed away a couple of years ago, are old friends of Lorraine's mother's from South Africa. And I just talked to Morris right before speaking with you, and he just told me the most wonderful couple of memories. He said that Margot first met your mom at a party that she was performing at. Were you at that party? Do you remember?
No, that was in South Africa. They met in South Africa.
Yeah. And that then they went to a concert that she was singing at the market, I think, in Johannesburg. Market Theater in Johannesburg. And that he remembers that she brought kids on stage, like one black kid, one white kid, one black kid, one white kid, until there was a bunch of kids on stage with her singing. He thinks they were singing what might now be the national anthem. He doesn't quite remember. And it's just and that they could have been arrested. And I said, why weren't you all arrested? And he said, well, there was too many people to arrest. They were probably arresting other people. But do you remember that? Did your mom talk about that?
Yeah, every time my mom would come and visit, and then my mom told them that, oh, my daughter, because they said they were from Canada, right? And my mom said, my daughter lives in Canada. And so I happened to perform at the Montreal International Jazz Festival that summer when they came. And so I've never met them before. And there was like a sea of people at the festival. And they stood at the side and they introduced themselves and they told me that story. And
oh my God.
Yeah, and we've been family and friends forever. And my mom never looked beyond the color of black and white. Kids are kids, and my mom had this wonderful gift. And I'd like to think that's what I've gravitated and inherited from my mom. Has a wonderful gift of having children, and she just draws people to her. And they met my mom in South Africa then at that time, up to the day that Margot passed away. And Dr. McGregor, I think, is like 102 years old.
He is, yeah.
And he's still standing. And they came to all of my concerts because I think what kept us together is the history of South Africa. And him being a white South African and us being a black South African, again, we go back to that thing of how people can still stick together. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And I just want to say hi, Morris, because he's going to watch this.
Oh, he's
And
watching.
I just want to say, we love you, Morris, and
You
hi.
love you, Morris. Thank you.
And he just said, please ask her to talk about your mom. So I'm so glad that you did. Thank you for doing that.
They've been, we're more family than friends. I don't miss anything.
I feel the same.
They were a wonderful supporters of the arts. And not one of my concerts, they would even support it in such a way that they would buy like 4 or 5 tickets and said, can you give it to anybody who would like to come to your concert but can't afford to come? Just give it to them.
That's beautiful.
So that they don't miss out on this wonderful mother and daughter. Yeah, generous, very generous that way.
Very beautiful. I'm not surprised at all.
Yes.
Exactly right. So you have to tell me, please, or you don't have to, but I would love to know what brought you to Canada in the first place. Why did you come here?
Goodness, it's a long story. Well, as I mentioned to you that, no, because some people, we were a musical of singers and dancers. As I mentioned, my mom, we left South Africa 1976. At the height of what's happening in South Africa. We left in May, and June 16, that's what changed the face of South Africa. So we left a month before. So we went to Israel, and then we went to Greece and all these different places, and doing incredible work. For those who don't know, do you know Onassis? Do you even know who's Onassis? You know Jackie Kennedy? Oh my, no, you don't know. Yes, no.
I haven't, only by name. I don't know these people. I'm going to write all these down and go to everybody after.
So that is from America. Jackie Kennedy was married to the Kennedys.
Yes.
Yeah. So Onassis was a Greek tycoon in Greece. A very short, ugly-looking man, but filthy rich. And so we performed.
Somehow they often go together.
Delina. It is an incredible place. And we performed there, called ourselves Sunny Africa Singers. By that time, our musical troupe of 30 dancers had dissolved because of what's been happening at home, and it was just a lot happening. Anyway, so we stayed there, and then I met my first husband, and he was coming to do his studies in Canada. And so he invited me to come to Canada. And when I arrived in Canada, it was a height of what was going on in Quebec with René Lévesque. Canada wanted to separate now from Canada, Quebec. And I'm thinking, I just came from a country where the apartheid system was at the height, and I'm coming to a country where now Quebec want to separate from Canada. What's going on, people? But the reception, of course, I received here in Canada was amazing. And most South Africans or people coming from Africa, English speaking, were going to Toronto, Vancouver. Moi, j'ai resté à Québec.
Oui, on peut parler en français si je préfère.
Mais j'ai pas le choix, ma chère. Je me débrouille et c'est là que je restais toute ma vie. Et je fais une carrière à Québec. C'était un temps inoubliable. Québec était très gentil avec moi et mon cœur, ça va toujours rester collé avec Montréal, avec Québec.
Je comprends. Ma mère est super contente de savoir que tu connais Onassis. Ma mère aussi, elle connaît tout le monde, tu vois. Mais elle dit, you knew Onassis?
Yes, you see somebody knows Onassis, yeah.
She'll know everything.
Actually, he came when we performed. He had those dark classes. And in the Greek culture, when they like somebody who sings, they buy plates. Tons of plates, and they will have somebody come and chop the plates. So we thought they were throwing plates. They don't like the way we sing, you know. But it was a way of saying they loved what we were doing, and And I still have pearls from Onassis. Who would believe that?
What do you have from him?
Pearls.
What are pearls?
Pearls.
Oh, pearls. Really?
Pearls. Yeah.
Les perles.
Yeah. Wow. I have them in my vault somewhere. I don't know.
I love it. So you're not in Quebec, you're in London. What are you
I'm
doing
in
in London?
London.
Oh
I'm
my
in
God,
London.
London's so lucky to have you.
Yeah,
Oh
London
my
is
goodness.
good, and I think things are gonna work out for me here. It
Mm,
just I
mm,
haven't given it a chance, and because of the pandemic when I came,
yeah.
but London
Mm-hmm,
is a small town, but
mm-hmm,
very cultured, and I've
mm-hmm.
met incredible people who are very generous,
Hmm.
and so Montreal, they're trying to woo me, to forget a little bit about
I'm
Montreal.
sure.
So, but I've met incredible people. The culture here is amazing. And we have our festival, Sunfest. It's our biggest thing in London.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sunfest,
Shout out to Alfredo.
Alfredo, yeah. That's the biggest thing. It's our jazz festival in London.
Yeah.
So
Everyone go. If you haven't been, please go. Sunfest in
Sunfest is
July.
amazing. Yeah, bringing the world to London, Ontario. So that's great to know. Hmm.
Definitely. Okay. So how long have you been in London? Just 2 years, right? 2 or
No,
so?
no, no. It's going to be four,
Longer?
four
Oh,
years.
4.
Four, almost
Oh
going on
my
5.
God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'd love to talk a little bit about, your career here, your albums, your shows, what's upcoming, because there's some exciting stuff happening. So, yeah, please go
Yeah.
ahead. What do you want to talk about?
We have a lot of exciting things happening. This is Instagram, people. Be nice. Follow me and do what you need to do to get the numbers up there because my granddaughter said, "Are you on Instagram?" I'm like, "Insta what?" Everybody laughs at me because I'm so like, I'm not used to this, right?
Of course, of
So,
course.
first of all, thank you so much for having us. I've got with me my producer, who's
Woo!
been Mongezi. He'll come on, he's going to introduce himself. And Mongezi, when I met Mongezi a couple of years ago, many years ago, and I says, I need to have somebody on my side, in a musical sense, that can also direct me in the steps
Mm,
I need to take musically,
hmm
and choose the right
hmm
material and moving forward. And
Important.
so he always is there. If you listen to all my music, most of my music, he's the one who did the production behind it.
Wow.
Of course, we have my record company, Just in Time, and they just is amazing.
Yep.
But so Mongezi is here because of my concert I'm going to be doing this Saturday, people, in Toronto. Yeah,
Yeah.
can't miss it. My first live concert with an audience. I'm
Oh my
so
God.
excited. Yeah. So we will be performing. Mongezi, I'm going to he's going to tell you about that, ask him about that. But
Okay.
we have
Okay.
a wonderful goodie in the bag, but I'm not
I
allowed to
love
take
it.
out the goodie in the bag yet. But I can just give you a little appetite about what's it going to be, the direction that we want to take. As
Okay.
I mentioned, when we had this pandemic, we had a lot of time to think about, okay, what is it you really want and
Yeah.
what direction you want to take. And
Right.
I won the Junos, and then
I
I got
remember.
nominated 2014. Nouvelle Journée also got nominated. And then here in London, I got also the World Music Award for here, in London when I was here. So there's a lot of good things
Amazing.
happening. But
Good.
now,
Good.
so what? Moving forward. Now
Well,
what?
everything helps. Everything helps,
Now what? So this is
Everything helps.
where, yeah, Mongezi came in and he said,
Hmm
we definitely have to focus on that direction.
hmm
And so he's right here, by the way. He's sitting right
Oh,
here next to
shall
me.
we see? Shall we meet him?
Do you want to meet him?
Yes.
Of course, I want to meet him.
Okay, I got to move a little forward. You see
Hi,
me?
Mongezi.
Can you see
Hi,
my
and welcome those who are
right
just
there?
joining. We're speaking with Lorraine Klaasen.
Yeah,
Salut.
I'll be in the back. I'll be in the back.
Yeah, can
Come
you
say
see him?
hello. Come say
Can you
hello.
see him?
We want to
Hello,
see
hello,
you.
everybody. Hello.
Welcome. Where did you just come from?
I just came from Washington, D.C.,
Okay, okay.
and very excited about this concert on Saturday in Toronto because we have some goodies, some surprises for the audience
Oh my
that
goodness.
Lorraine and I would like to share as rejoining the community after COVID. So to be reintroducing ourselves after COVID. So we're really excited. It's going to be very nice.
Well, we're really excited too. I just sang there a couple of weeks ago with my mom, actually. It's a beautiful little theater. So I'm
It's a
excited to.
gorgeous, yeah.
Oh,
I love the
nice.
theater.
Very nice. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah. Oh, hi, Rosary, and hi, everyone joining. We're speaking with Lorraine Klaasen and her producer and musician, Mongezi, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
Mongezi, who just got here yesterday from Washington and is joining her this Saturday at the Alliance Française. It's in Toronto, Bloor and Spadina. We'll send out the information also with FabCollab so we can, help spread the word and get people out, because this is a concert that you'll be really lucky if you go to see. So
Yeah.
tell us, Lorraine, what are you working on now? What kind of music? What language? I want to know, because you said nobody ever understands you. So I really feel the same way all the time, because I sing in all these different languages and no one understands me. But I don't care. In fact, I don't like singing in English because I feel like naked and nervous about it. I'm like, everyone knows what I'm saying. So what languages do you like singing in? What do you normally?
Growing up in South Africa, we were very fortunate, and everybody thinks like I'm so special with all these languages I'm singing in. But most South Africans, we all sing in different languages,
Right.
Zulu, Xhosa, Tswana, Spedi. But Mongezi just wrote a song for me that we recorded on his company, in his production, called 7 Chapters. And we'll make sure we send you that link so you can also share when you want to share with people. So I'm singing in Swahili, which is a language that I've never sang in before. But what's beautiful about music and languages is that you feel the music. You may not understand what we say, but if it's sad, you can feel it's sad. If it's happy, you can see it's happy, right?
Yeah.
So, but basically what Mongezi did, he says, Queen. They call me Queen. For those who are listening, it's Lorraine Queen. It's a queen.
I love
what Mongezi did is like, he said, no, Queen, we need to resurrect the music of the 50s. That music of that genre that it seems to be like everybody is maybe not paying so much attention to, but it's always in the back of our heads, of our mind. And so we've resurrected all those classic, Monga is what you call it, the songbook, what do you call it?
We recorded what I call a South African songbook. And so it would be similar to like an American songbook, where you find like real classic American songs that if you went to a club and, the band or the singer will sing from an American songbook, pretty much the standards that they'll be singing from. And so what we decided was that it was important that we share the South African songbook with the audience. So those that have never been to South Africa, those that have never heard any South African music, so these are that's the staple that most musicians in South Africa, when they go on stage, if like as a singer, you went to a club and you wanted to sit in with musicians, you sing a standard that everybody would know. Like in Cuba, when you go to Cuba, different singers will come on stage, they sing the Cuban, standards from the songbook that everybody knows. So we decided to do that because we thought it's important that here in Canada and the United States, even though people are aware of Miriam Makeba, Hugh Masekela, Black Mambazo, the Soweto Gospel Choir, all these artists that come from South Africa, people still don't know what South African songs would sound like as a collection. Like also they have their own staple repertoire. So we thought we should put them together, the 12 songs.
Wow.
Yes, of our standards that have been sung starting from the late 1950s all the way to the mid 80s.
Wow.
And these are popular songs that any musician who has been playing around the club scene in South Africa or recording, they know the song. So that's what we have done on this new project. And we decided to call it Obonga in isiZulu, which means gratitude.
That's the title of it, gratitude.
Yeah, gratitude. And so we didn't want to do like a tribute, because Lorraine has done a tribute before to Miriam Makeba. And most artists, when they appreciate works, they do like a tribute to so-and-so, a tribute to that. But we decided, since these songs, they're coming from different artists, so as a collective of, the work they have done, the producers, the composers, the artists from that era, we just decided to be, we're just grateful that they created all this wonderful work that, we still have, and we can use, we can exploit, or we can help to make people aware of South Africa. Yes. So that's, new project. Yes.
And it's
very
beautiful.
important work.
And
very
I'm so excited. You have no idea. And when we recorded with Mongezi, we wanted to have it as clean as the sound. There used to be no electronic stuff. It was very unplugged, very organic. And so this is the direction, because people know I can sing and dance and all that. But I just thought now, like fine wine, as they say. I know. Wayne,
Yeah.
you know, just sip me a little bit and just relax.
That's
and
a
this
good
is
lyric.
the same music that when my mom, again, it takes me back to my mom, because it's that music of that generation, and it's beautiful music. And so we thought we're gonna undress it like a banana, peel off all this other,
I love it,
and just leave it as pure as we can. What's good about this music is that you could leave it as simple as just guitar and voice, but you can add, if you want to add a few things, you can add it without losing its flavor. So very excited.
Can you repeat the title in Swahili? Is it in Swahili, the title, or in Zulu?
No, it's in South Africa. It's called
it's in the Zulu language. It's called Ukubonga.
Zulu.
That be Ukubonga. Ukubonga.
Ukubonga.
It's a concept of just gratitude, being grateful, you know, for things that, you know, people have done. So we have the reason why we chose this title. Lorraine and I sat down and said, what would be the appropriate title for this album? And we just thought that since there's so many people involved, like I mentioned earlier when I was mentioning about doing a tribute to one particular artist.
Right.
But in this case, you're talking about there were singers, there were composers, there were producers in South Africa in those days that were going through a lot during apartheid. And so for us to be grateful for this beautiful work, because most of these artists have passed on. If there's anybody left out of all this body of work that we're recording, even including the producers, the engineers, they'll be like maybe only one person alive today. You know, few people. Yes, so it's just this idea of, you know, saying we are so grateful for what you have given us.
This is beautiful work.
Yes, and we're hoping that through this work we can inspire the young musicians, the ones that have come before us, that are after us, that have come after us, that they can also continue spreading this music, because it's storytelling. Like Lorraine was saying, that we decided to kind of strip it down. Not use a whole lot of production tricks, in terms, meaning that add a whole lot of instruments on top of it, because we thought we're gonna lose the stories. But at the heart of these songs are the stories. And so our recording sessions in Montreal were just me and Lorraine in the live room, and the engineers in the control room, and we just played, and we kept all the imperfections in the performance.
And there were plenty imperfections.
But that's the best part.
Yeah.
That's the best part. Then you really know somebody is singing, you know, and then you really hear it.
Yes. So we kept
That's
all
beautiful.
That. Yes.
So one takes. That's amazing. So for those of you just joining, Lorraine and her producer and musician Mongezi are talking about a new album that they're just been working on called Ukubonga, which means gratitude in Zulu. And it's a collection of sort of the South African standards from the 50s to the 80s.
Yes.
Did I get that correct?
That's correct. That's correct. That's correct.
Okay. Well, I'm very, 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 very excited. And we're going to come back to that. But I just want to say, I just want to ask, as you're talking, how do you choose, how many songs are on the record, and how do you choose them? How do you choose which ones to do? Do you have to do more than one record?
Again, when it's a songbook, you know, I mean, it's a catalog of incredible body of work. But of course, you can only record, how many we did? With 12 songs?
So we did, 12 songs, including one of our own, an original. Because Lorraine sings in multiple languages. So we decided that since she spent all these years in Montreal, in Quebec, that it would be appropriate as also gratitude to the community in Montreal, the Haitian community, the Caribbean community, and the French Canadian community that have really helped her, supported her. So we included one original that we wrote in Creole, in French.
Oh, so cool.
Yes. Now this, coming back to your question, that how did you select the songs?
Yeah.
When this idea was proposed, and it was Lorraine who proposed it, because most of the time I work with her as a musical director, a producer, and a composer. arranger. But she said, no, on this project, I really want just the two of us to do this song. So why can't you go and look and select some of the material, and then we can talk about it. So the way how the process went, in a sense, where Lorraine said, look, let's look at the groups. And when you look at the South African music scene of the 1950s, it was dominated by women artists. The women artists dominated the scene. Like Miriam Makeba, Dolly Radebe, Tandy Klaasen, Margaret Singana, all these artists, the Dark City Sisters, Mahotel Queens. So the women, like we're at the forefront of the music revolution in South Africa. Yes. You know, and so we decided, look, we're going to choose a little from every other group, and some of the composers, the best producers, and also make sure that the subject matter, make sure that, you know, there's so much diversity in the stories. Some of them were just like songs that are based on traditional African traditional romantic courtship, how Africans, you know, court each other when they're looking for love. It's not like in the Western sense.
Meet me at the river. Yeah, imagine you have to meet somebody.
Yes.
And you say, this guy, you know, these days, and Miriam Makeba was like, okay, meet me at the river where the waterfalls caresses the sunlight. I mean, isn't that romantic? Picture that.
Yes.
So what I love about the concept also we have with Mongezi, it's not just performing, but telling our stories through the song. So it goes together. It's not just standing up there singing and whatever. So it gives us an opportunity, you know, and you got to picture that as we're telling the story, you know, and Meet Me at the River. It's
Meet Me at the River. And there's social commentary songs as well that just talk about people, everyday life, their struggles. And there are the songs that talk about the traditional experiences of the same women we're talking about. That don't forget that not all of them were born in the urban areas. Some of them came from the rural areas. You know, they brought in their own years. So we have to be careful that when people listen to this album, they're aware of the dynamics and also the diversity of South Africa, even within Black people, not just like the context of like multiracial, like Indian, white, and etc., but just like within the diversity that we have among the African people. So we chose this kind of songs, and then just like they were woven together.
Beautiful.
So they have to tell a story and sort of be by a diverse array of people and represent the times. Wow, I can't wait to hear. Why was it all women? Can I just ask? Why do you think it was all mostly women at the time?
Because South Africa is, when it comes to like singing, it is the place where music is very spontaneous. And if you want to hear like some of the best, what you call community street choirs, so these are street choirs, and the tradition in South Africa is women they lead, they are head. So when let's say there's a wedding, for instance, if there's a wedding in the township in Soweto, and people are they are kind of marching through the street with the wedding party, the women will be at the front, leading the songs, and then the men will be behind with their bass voices. They lead. Yes. So in the same context, like the producers and the musicians were men, but the voices, most of the voices were always women. And so we kept that tradition, even though we used a couple of songs that were recorded by a male group. That's the diversity that we brought in some songs that also are singers. But don't forget that when you say women, we're talking about they are not alone in the studio. The producers are men, the musicians are men, but the women with the vocal groups, they are the nicest voices,
the most.
Yes, they were at the forefront with them.
I mean, I think so, but I'm biased.
Yeah. Well, and this is, and this is what I regret mostly. We're talking about now, they talk about regret, the questions you asked me earlier, and it's now is coming back. And there's no excuse as to why I didn't do that. I wanted to learn how to read and write music. And I should have gone back to school and do that. And I did not. So like Mongezi says, even in Africa at that time, most of the women were at the forefront because they were the singers, and the guys were like playing the music because they could read and write. And here I am in a country where you can go to school and read and write music, and I never took it upon. So that's one of the regrets.
You can still do it.
I know, but I have a piano here in my house.
Just the basics. Just the
Yeah,
basics.
I know, and I should, especially during the pandemic. I was going to learn how to play piano, and then I was
Wow.
told I could have cut my nails down. I'm like, cut my what? You can't play with your nails. I'm like, what do you
It's
mean I
so
can't play
funny.
piano with my nails? No, you're gonna
Oh
have to
my
cut your
God.
nails. I'm like,
You
you know
can
what?
play, you can do whatever you want,
I said, well,
Lorraine.
the piano will just stare at me for now, but
But you know what?
maybe
I had that
eventually.
same regret. I had that same regret, or that I
Yeah,
really wanted, because to communicate with musicians, it's so important, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
I went and took a basic, like rudimentary, basics of theory, music theory about reading and writing, just a couple of months at the Royal Conservatory here in Toronto. And even that little bit like helped me so much.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
do it. And also, but also I just want to say, like, you would be a different person, if and it would maybe even almost limit, because you wouldn't need to collaborate so much because you would have the knowledge. So this is what I
Yeah,
think, like,
yeah.
so the fact that you don't, then you need somebody else that has that knowledge, and you have
Mhm.
that knowledge, then you're going to work with so many more people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it's really because I was always thinking of myself. I was thinking of Roberta Flack. I can just imagine doing a concert and having a grand piano, and then starting off the thing and just putting a couple of bars, and then have Mongezi come with his guitar. And I visualize all of these things, but I
Do
have to
it.
give up
Do it with
something.
your
It's
nails.
a,
Do it with
yeah,
your
I have to
nails.
give.
Do it
But
with your nails.
it all works together, though. It all works together because imagine if everybody in the studio was musically trained.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work at all, because then
Yeah.
there's so many arguments. I've been
Yeah.
around recording sessions where everybody was they knew everything about the musical terms, just the music theory and all that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think just having the talent to sing and
Mm-hmm.
knowing when you're flat or a bit too sharp and all these kind of things, it helps, because you focus more on the emotions more than the
Yeah.
technical part of the
Yeah.
beat.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So a lot of musicians tend to think that if, let's say, they cannot play an instrument or they don't know the
Yeah.
correct musical terms, that means they're handicapped. No, it's not. It's just like, there are certain people that are good at just understanding the musical notes and dealing with them, and that's why you
A
have
different freedom.
yes, you have composers, and then you
Mm-hmm.
have people that transcribe the music after you've recorded
Mm-hmm.
it. Today
Mm-hmm.
we have like the Bob Marley songbook, where he has all these
Mm-hmm.
classics, but
Mm-hmm.
Bob Marley never read music. Other people did the
There you go.
transcription. Yeah, other people.
Exactly.
Paul McCartney never doesn't read any music, but most of their music, the Beatles, is transcribed, because there
Right.
are people that are just,
Other people can do it. Yeah.
yeah, they can do it. Yeah,
Teamwork.
that's what they
Teamwork.
do.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's
Oh,
the
my
same.
mom says, Lorraine, you don't need to read music. You are music. But I'll teach you anytime.
Oh.
But she also says she'll teach you anytime you want. Because she's good at that. So there
That's
you go.
nice. Yeah, yeah. And now we're getting so many wonderful. I'm sitting here and I can see some of the comments. Are just so heartwarming. It makes you truly
Yeah.
feel. And like I said, when I go on stage, when I was a little girl, again, I go back. I used to watch my mom, look at my mom,
Mm-hmm.
and I used to admire her.
Mm.
And everything about my mom was like, she used to focus on the audience because she had that connection. Like Mongezi, other people are good singers. They can sing, but they maybe don't have a connection with an audience.
Right.
I'd rather have
Right.
a connection with the audience than having, so.
Like my
and-
mom.
yeah,
She loves the
absolutely.
connection with the audience.
Having a connection with the audience.
Yeah.
So it's not about me, it's about us.
Mm-hmm.
It's not me, it's us. Do you get me? Can I hear you? Do you feel me? Do I feel you? And so this is interchange of encouragement and interchange of our feelings. And this is why choosing material that we chose is choosing something that even when we perform, there could be an exchange with the audience where we will want to hear their voices,
Right.
accompany what I'm doing. So they'll be like my backup vocals.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Love
and
it.
my thing, Tamara, which I want to mention for those who are listening, and this is really what I would like to do. Maybe you didn't answer the question yet, or you were planning to, I'm just thinking how I want to further the things. I want to be more of, we like to do workshops, going into schools, going into schools, going into workshop. I find that is so much more gratifying than, performing for adults, which is fine. But you want to be able to, like we said, pass this. It's part of history. It's like we're teaching music, telling your stories through your music is so much more gratifying than just going up there, singing your dance and you leave.
Right.
and there's nothing moving forward. So this is why I also chose this route with Mongezi, because it's something that we could go anywhere with. You don't have to have a big band.
Right.
To accompany your, you know, your music and your story.
I love
your
it.
lead roles is the lead roles in what we
Is
do.
this the first? I agree with you, and is this the first sort of collection of this sort that's been done?
No.
It's been done. It's been done several times, but what would happen is that it would be a combination of both, this from the songbook and also originals. Normally, people just don't do like all the standards, like just select like that. You know, it's been done, but not like in this in the way how we've done it. But for us, it was just like strictly just realizing how we have lost some of these legends, you know, like over the past like 20 years. Like most of them have transitioned, and so it was like really very important for us that make sure that we have just celebrate their lives and use their songs. And those here in Canada and the United States and other parts of the world that are not like familiar, or there's so many students in the Western society that we are so keen and want to learn about African music. What are the songs that maybe we can all learn and kind of play together? And this is like a chance for them to play. Also, these are the South African standards. That if I learn this song and I take my safari trip to South Africa, I bring my guitar, my trombone, I can go to Johannesburg the club. I say, well, can I play with you? Can I play this song? Yeah. So it's one way of
So you want people to learn the songs?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We did a tour. Well, tell them about the tour that week. This is something that this is why bringing this up, because of the satisfaction that I had gotten out of that tour that we did in the Midwest.
Yes, several years ago we did a tour of several states, like 5-6 states in the United States. And yes, and mostly just going to what they consider like underserved communities. So these are states that don't have like large population. So meaning that if, let's say, there's an African tour, a group is coming from Africa, most likely they're not going to go in that state or that area because it's not a big market. But likely enough, there's an organization called the Midwest Arts, which they get funding and then like hire artists from all over the place. Some days, some years they'll hire somebody from Pakistan, a group from Pakistan. Some years somebody from Chile, indigenous music. Sometimes a group from Israel or from Palestine or things like that. So likely enough, they had Lorraine. And so we went in these communities. We were there for about 3 months. So we spent like about a week in every theater. Yes, every week. So we do elementary school, we do high schools, and then we go to colleges, the universities, the retirement homes. And then we do the final day of the week, we do like a full concert at the community hall. And mostly it's more teaching. It's not just like playing songs. These songs need to have like a story. And we told so many stories. The songs that they've heard, especially like a song called The Lion Sleeps Tonight from South Africa, The Lion Sleeps Tonight. Most people just don't know the story behind it. And so we tell the story that, no, this story is not just about the lion. It's actually the writer, the composer actually killed a lion. And in celebration of his work, he wrote the song in the 1920s. That's
very different.
Different. So so teaching people about things like that helps. And so that's what we're focused on that. And our culture, in most African culture, just like throughout the continent of Africa, we believe that art is the foundation of all learning. That before human beings accumulated furniture, they had art.
Solomon Linda, she knows it. Solomon Linda.
Yes.
My mom's ridiculous.
Yes, Solomon Linda.
Yes. So like art is the foundation of all learning, and music is part of that. That it's easier to teach people about the geography of Africa or certain things about Africa through the arts than try just to teach them through something else. If you talk about you're from South Africa, and I've been to this country, I did a performance that they learn much quicker through the arts than in anything else. So following that tradition, the African tradition of like art is the foundation of all learning. Even right now, when I'm in Washington, D.C., I'm teaching at a private school. I'm kind of emphasizing on that art is
love
the
that.
foundation of all, art is the foundation of all learning. Everywhere in all cultures,
I
art
agree.
is the foundation of all learning. Yes. Yes.
My friend here, Lady Atunde, she's a wonderful singer, Yeti. She says art before furniture. Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how kids learn, right? That's why you have all these songs to teach children and everything. Yeah, for sure. And they want to paint and oh my God, beautiful. Okay, so with all this talk about the album and singing and art and having you here, Mongezi, is it time, Lorraine, to ask you if you would consider singing
I
something
teach
for
my
us?
students about that in Bube.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I know my mom.
Okay.
You want to play something?
Yeah, we can play something. Yeah.
Very short.
All right, whatever you want.
So when I think of
You
this
guys.
song, as if I'm calling out to Mama, it's called Kilimanjaro. Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. Mama, Mama, Mama Kilimanjaro, Mama Kilimanjaro. Oh, ndikhumbule ekhaya, ndibuyele ekhaya, ndiyavuya mna. Ah, ndibuyele ekhaya mna. Oh, ndiyavuya mna. Ah, la 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 la. Gotta come to the concert to get the whole thing. Woo! Yeah, so this is one of the songs about Kilimanjaro of the album that's coming out, Obonga, coming out. But we're gonna give a little teaser at the concert on Saturday, just one or two of a teaser, but it's gonna be a wonderful album, and maybe when it comes out, we can come back and talk about it.
Love that so much. Please, please. Even no matter where you are, Mongezi, you can always join on Instagram. So we can do it no matter where you are in the world. Talk about it.
Absolutely.
Oh, I can't wait till Saturday. I'm like, please don't stop singing and playing.
Yeah. No, we're looking forward to it.
Those. I love everything. Thank you so much, Lorraine.
It's gonna be wonderful. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you for everybody who tuned
Anything
in.
we missed? Anything we missed or
know.
that you wanted to mention that I forgot to ask?
Well, I think we covered.
I think Mongezi said we covered. We covered about everything.
Just come to the show.
Yeah,
you know, and follow Lorraine.
Well, you know, it's just again to be able to use this platform to say really thank you. Music is like food; is a necessity. It's not a uniform I put on and off. It's part of who we are. It makes us happy. It makes us sad. Either way, it evokes emotions. And now that we've had our emotions have been so suppressed, it's time for us to resurrect those things and start feeling again. And music makes us happy. And I just want to make everybody happy, and I want to feel happy, and I wish everybody happiness. Leave it like that.
Well, we feel it. We feel it when you sing and when we speak to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, Yeti, she's saying I love it, but we'll see you. Come to the concert on Saturday with me. I'm inviting you right now.
Okay, yeah, bring everybody to the concert. And
thank you so much to both of you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Well, we'll see you Saturday.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day, guys. Thank you so much. Bonne journée.
Merci, Tamara.